Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in to Dorian.slash. I wanted to check something out that was recommended in the comments, and it is called BlankOn Linux. It's an Indonesian Debian based distribution. I was looking at their website, and unfortunately, they don't have anything in English, which is okay. I assume it's Debian based. I'll be able to install in English, no problem. And luckily, Google Translate helped me out to find the download. So if you just Google it, translate this page, looking at the features, it has these different panels here, which I'll get into when I boot it up here. I'm going to go through the installation first really quick. So this is developed by the Indonesian Linux. It says Linux Mover Foundation on DistroWatch, but I'm pretty sure it's the Indonesian Linux Motivator Foundation. And is it here? It's not here. So you look at the sponsors, they have quite a few sponsors here, which is pretty impressive. So I was really interested in this project. So I've got the ISO loaded up, so let's fire it up. So like I said before, it is based on Debian. So if you've used Debian or Ubuntu or any other Debian-based distro, it uses the apt package management. It's pretty easy to use if you're already familiar with it. And let me just do this, and let's make it bigger. All right, so the installer I'm not familiar with, but as you can see here, yes, there is English or Bahasa Indonesia. I'm guessing if you need a different language, you could probably install it in English, get through it, and then you can switch the language after all. So let's just run through the installation real quick here. This is release 11.0, and this was released not even 2 weeks ago. So time zone, let's just pick a spot somewhere here, Charlotte, New York. Installation target. I really like this installation. I like this animation. I'm not sure what they use here, but it's very, very nice. I like the animations. Maybe Debian came out with a new one. I haven't used Debian in a long time. So used space, yes, too small. Advanced mode or clean install. Let's do advanced. So advanced here gives you actions to do whichever you want. Delete, format, use. Oh, exit advanced mode. Do I want to exit? Yes. Let's just do clean install. This will delete all your programs. Yes. Computer name. Let's just call it BlankOn. Dorian, password. And let's not do automatic login because I want to see what the display manager is. Enforce strong password. Let's not do that because I don't use one. So installation summary, target device, target partition, computer name. So this didn't ask me where I wanted the bootloader installed. All right, well, let's just install. This is a virtual machine anyway, so I don't really care. Let's see how long this takes. So it took a couple of seconds there, not doing anything. I wasn't sure what was happening. It was probably 8 seconds. It just kind of sat there and I was wondering what was going on, but it's showing a status now. It's running wipe disk and there's a little progress bar. So the wipe disk just finished and it took about a minute and a half. And this is on an SSD, so I'm not sure if it did a full format of the disk instead of a quick format. So now we're showing installation finished, and at the end there, I saw a quick flash saying it was installing the Grub bootloader. So that took about 2 minutes to install on an SSD, which is not too bad at all. So I'm going to reboot it now. You can see here a little mistake. It says your system is ready, SISTEM, but that's okay. However, I clicked reboot and I just seem to be kind of frozen here. So I've given it about 30 seconds and it's just kind of hung up and I can't switch. I can't do anything. So I'm just going to force a reboot. And here we have Grub. So I've got the little logo in the corner. Boot it up. All right, so here is the login screen. I don't know if I can make this bigger. Just the login, sleep, restart, shut down. Fire this up. Password. Now, this is what interests me here. The Manokwari desktop. I'll show you that here. Just log in. Okay, so let me just try installing the guest additions. So I'm going to pause the video and get back to you so we have a nice full screen here. All right, so I just installed the guest additions. So it was just a matter of, in the virtual machine, inserting the guest additions disk, go to the folder and run sudo vbox-additions.run. Okay, so I'm back now and I've got the full screen. The guest additions are working now, so that was pretty straightforward. Being Debian based, it worked, of course, no problem. And let me just log back in again and we will move on to the desktop. So this desktop is really interesting to me. It's definitely different. So we have here a dock at the bottom, and I'm trying to figure out which dock it is, but I can't right click, so it might be Plank, and I'll have to look into that afterwards. It's very, very pretty. I like the simple panel at the top, quick launch here. The icons and the colors are very, very nice. Very nice colors, very nice icon choice. I like it a lot. And before I open that, actually, I should have checked. Let's just do a top. So we're using 557 megabytes of RAM. That's not too bad. This isn't Gnome. This is their own desktop environment, which was a panel at one point, and it's evolved into its own thing. So you've got your little date and time up here, you've got your little system tray, but in the corner, you have this panel, which is really neat, that pops out. So you've got your music player, you've got some bookmarks, and your system settings are all here, so you can go background, and let's change the background. So these are all shortcuts. These are little control panel shortcuts, I suppose. And looking at their backgrounds here, we've got a really nice selection here. Just scroll through. They've got this little robot dude as their mascot. Some nice flowers, birds, landscapes. Very nice looking backgrounds. I like this background here. I think this is kind of fun. All right, so enough about the backgrounds. So what else? Well, let me just fire this up and let's open up the calculator, for example. You can see that the apps are open here. It has this cool little mini icon display, and as you scroll through, it shows a bigger version down here. So let's go back to the terminal for a quick second so that I can do a check on the kernel. So we're using 4.14.0-3, and it's of course 64-bit. And now let's check out the software. So of course you could see here that LibreOffice 6 is already installed, which is nice. Very recent, very new. And I'm not seeing any issues with any of the programs here. For language, everything did load up as expected. The no network connection is my doing. The network is actually turned off for this virtual machine. And this is your applications menu, which is another pop-up on the side. So you've got these two panels on either end here, which is really nice. Then you have your shutdown, sleep, reboot, and logout options here. Your settings shortcut brings up the same thing as these settings here, which is the Gnome settings. And while it's worth pointing out that there is no actual Gnome shell. As you can see, just typing Gnome shell is command not found, because I should be able to go version to get a version, but it's actually not installed. It is this desktop only. You can, of course, go in and add more if you want to, but I quite like this. So let's have a look here. So your accessories, you have your standard accessories, your archive manager, calculator, disks, all the typical stuff you would find in GNOME. Education has gcompris, educational game, and recipes. So this distro is mainly focused on schools and government. So you're going to find a lot of this stuff that would be nice to have in school and government organizations and in companies. Graphics, you have GIMP installed by default, which is 2.8. 2.10 is out. I thought that this would have been 2.10 because this distro just came out not even 2 weeks ago, but that could be easily updated as well. And then you have Events, Image Viewer, Inkscape as well, and LibreOffice Draw. For internet, you've got Corebird, Firefox, Geary, and Pigeon. So I actually like this quite a bit. So I'm hoping this is Quantum. Let me just open this up, and it looks like, yes, it is Quantum 58.0.1. Again, easily upgradable to 59, which is the latest version. And I'm actually pleased to find that someone used Geary as the default, because that's my preferred email. I'm surprised to find Geary is there, and Corebird and Pigeon. Corebird, of course, for your Twitter account. I personally don't use these types of apps. I do everything through the browser, but it's nice to be included. And so that's it for internet. So moving on to Office, we have, of course, all the LibreOffice, the full suite. Sound and video, you have Audacious, the Bracero Disk Burner, your webcam app, and VLC. Under Science is LibreOffice Math, of course. System tools, you have your disk usage analyzer, again, more of your typical stuff that you would find with GNOME. Network tools, power statistics, system monitor, terminal. So system monitor, yes, is the regular GNOME. And software, network tools. I'm not sure if the average user would use this, but extra little bonus. And the Software Center. So this is the GNOME Software Center. Unable to download firmware updates. I disabled that. Let me just do this. And let's turn this back on. Let me just fire up software again and see if we get those same errors. So now it should be doing some stuff in the background, connecting to the repos. I'm interested to see what the repos are. I'm guessing, of course, they will have their own because they run their own desktop shell. So let's just do a quick search here. I'm going to do a search for Genie. Let's install that. Enable third-party sources. Okay. Is not free and open source software and is provided by BlankOn. Must be enabled before continuing. Let me just have a look again. Let me just try this again. Curious to see. So they have their own repos. See if they're using any Debian. Wow, this is gonna take a while. It's saying 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 9, just to update the repos. Okay, so that took about 2.5 minutes just to do the update, just to update the repos. It is very, very slow downloads to get all these files. I'm guessing because they're coming from an Indonesian server. So maybe in Indonesia, it's a lot faster to do this. But I also had some errors here. So I'm wondering what the problem is. So I'm going to actually try one more time because sometimes it just takes a second try. Okay, so again, I get some errors, but I find it strange here that they have blankon.id, which can't be resolved, and then blankonlinux.or.id over here. So I'm going to just try quickly editing the sources file. And let's just see here. So these all seem to work. So this one here, let me just change that to match the others because I'm wondering if maybe that was just a mistake. So I'll do this, save that, Let's try that again. So, okay, it didn't really complain about that one. Oh, wait, yes it did. Okay, so I'm going to just remove this altogether, which is security, but you know what? If it doesn't work, then I'm not getting any updates anyways. So again, I'm getting an error, so it's obviously the other link here. Oh, went too far. Try that one last time, because we're not going to get any updates at all, and it's unfortunate that the security one doesn't work, because that's quite an important one. So it says one package can be updated, so let's just see if we list what it is. It's just the notify OSD, so it's actually not even that important. Moving on now. Where was I? System tools. System tools, system log, preferences, ICE-T control panel, settings again, tweaks. So tweak tool is installed by default, which is very nice. So the application theme is called Bromo, but it looks a lot like the standard default. So if I change it, okay, so it is slightly different, and it's got some blue. What else is there? Blackbird. That's okay. Oh, that one doesn't even work. Wait, what happened? Bluebird doesn't work. Graybird. Alright, well, let's leave it there. Icons. Tebu Flat is what it's using, which is very nice. I actually like it a lot. Oh, and then there's this other Tebu, which is also nice. It's very nice. I like that a lot. Desktop, fonts. I noticed that extensions is missing from this list, and that's because it's not using Gnome shell. So any other little extra things that you like running in your system tray, of course, is not going to work because you're not using Gnome shell. Now, of course, you could install it because this is Debian based. You could install XFCE4. You can install any desktop environment you want, probably Budgie even. But this is actually pretty nice. So now if you look under administration, there is the Synaptic Package Manager, which will ask you for your password. So you have this in addition to, yes, I'm aware. You have this in addition to the regular Software Center. But I want to go back to the Software Center actually because I want to see, where was it? Software. Can you type? You can type. Oh, I love that. Can it come up with... No, the Windows keys does nothing. But you can click here and you can just type what you're looking for. That's awesome. I like that. I really like that a lot. It even has Google search and Wikipedia search right in here. That's awesome. All right, so let's do this again. Let's do AbiWord then. Install. Yes. Okay, so this looks to be installing. It shouldn't take very long. However, if this is coming from the same servers, we're probably getting pretty slow speed. So 110 kilobits per second, or kilobytes per second, 400, 300. So this is this could be an issue. I would imagine that if you were to tweak that sources.list for where you're getting the software from, and you were to add some Debian servers, it would probably pick those above. Actually, I'm not sure. Definitely something that you'd have to experiment with, but the downloading is very, very, very slow. AbiWord should pretty much install instantly. However, in the end, yes, it did install. Launch it. Boom. All right. So what do I think of BlankOn? Well, it's gorgeous. I love the theming. I love the icons. There's a lot of work that was put into it. And, it's nice to try something that I haven't tried before, because there's a lot of distros that use the same things. I mean, you've got your Gnome, or Gnome, however you want to say it. You've got your Openbox. You've got XFCE4. All these different Unity, even KDE. You have all these different desktop environments that the different distros use, and they use them in different ways to try and be unique and themes and move things around a little bit. But this is something new that they created, and it reminds me a lot of when Budgie came out. It was something new, it was something cool, and I like the little panels that slide out. This is supposed to be touchscreen friendly as well, so I could imagine that when you swipe your finger in from the outside, it would bring in these menus. But because I don't have a touch device, I can't test it out. But I imagine if you're running this on a tablet or a laptop with the removable screen, if you swipe in from the sides, it would bring in these menus, because that's the whole reason for it. So I think it's a bit of a shame that the downloading is slow. I haven't tried adding Debian servers. That might make a difference. Maybe it will choose Debian servers first. I'm not sure about that. But if they were to get fast repo speeds, faster downloads, also downloading the ISO itself is 1.8 gigs. It took a very long time for me to download it from their website. If they could speed all that up, I'm sure this would be very, very popular. It's a very cool concept. Kudos to the developers for making it, for working on it. If you want to check it out, I'm going to put the link in the description. Like I said, be aware your download might be slow and your updates and everything might be a little slow. Download it, try it out. Maybe they'll change some things around if it gets more popular, get some faster downloads, get some more users on it. But like I said earlier in the video, they're focusing on schools and government and business, so maybe they're just going to focus on keeping it within the country and not worry about so much the worldwide usage. However, it would benefit them if they did a worldwide effort to increase their server speeds, put some more repos, some mirrors in other places in the world to help speed this up and get some people all over the world to help contribute to this. Anyways, guys, BlankOn Linux, check it out, give it a try. It's awesome. I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing some better server performance in the future. If you like the video, click like. If you have any questions, you can ask, but I'm not super familiar with this particular distro, and a lot of the websites and stuff are not in English, so I can only answer questions based on what I've done so far and what I've done to play with it. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click that bell for your notifications. And as always, you can follow me over on Twitter at Dorian.Slash. That's all for now, guys. Till next time, bash on.